Okay, guys, I want to direct your attention to a few things here. We are going to add an element to our prepositional phrase work. You've seen all these sentences before, I think a couple times now. What we're going to do is we're going to add the element of identifying the subject and the verb, also known as the predicate. So, what we have started with is we have identified the prepositions. Anybody can do this. Somebody gives you a list like I've given you. You look at a sentence and you look at your list. You say, oh, that's a preposition. Click on it, cross it out, whatever you've been asked to do. Anybody can do that. And then the next step was, well, let's cross out the prepositional phrases. So what you have to do is identify the preposition, which is one word, and then decide, okay, well, I know the prepositional phrase starts there, and I know it ends in a noun because a prepositional phrase starts with a preposition and ends with a noun. And so you identify that and you cross it out. So look at number one. I know the preposition is around because I can look at my preposition list and I know around is on there. And I know if a phrase isn't that long, around a telescope. Well, the word a is not a noun. It's not a person, place, or thing or idea. Telescope, however, is a thing, so I know that's a noun. And prepositional phrases start with a preposition and end with a noun. So I'm going to cross it out. I'm going to cross that out. Now, I've crossed out the prepositional phrase. Now, identifying the subject and the verb, subject, identifying that, and the verb will be super easy. And here is why I'm saying that. Because there are only 3 words left in the sentence. Look at number 1. We've crossed out the prepositional phrase, and there are only 3 words left. The students gathered. Now, you might want to ask yourself, well, how do I know what the subject is? There are still 3 words. Which one's the subject? Well, here's what a subject is. A subject is simply this. Who or what is the sentence about? I'll make that a different color just so it looks nice. That's the subject. Who or what is the sentence about? Pretty simple. Now, what is the verb? Or I call it the predicate. Because the predicate always starts with a verb. But I'm just going to start talking about the predicate. Subject, predicate. Subject, predicate. Now, what is the predicate? Well, the predicate is this. The predicate is simply what the subject is or what it does. Let me make that a pretty color just to look nice. There it is. Okay, so now we know what the subject and the predicate is. Up here, notice they said subject and verb. The verb is always the main part of the predicate. Again, you're going to hear me refer to subject predicate all the time, and I'm going to simplify this even further. So, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you draw a subject predicate line in each of these sentences. Now, a subject predicate line simply separates the subject from the predicate. So if you ask yourself the right question, who or what is the sentence about? Look at number 1. Who or what is the sentence about? The students gathered. Well, if you said it's about the students, you're correct. So here's what you will do. You will draw a subject predicate line. It will go right here. I'm going to make that a little bit thicker, and I'm going to change the color. Now I'll keep it black. Okay, now the subject predicate line simply separates the subject from the predicate. That's it. So if you ask yourself, who or what is the sentence about, and you said the students, bam, draw your line right after it. That's it. That's all you have to do. Because up here, if you remember earlier, I said in the directions it says underline the subject once and the verb twice. You don't have to do that. We're simply going to draw the subject predicate line today. Okay, let's do the second one together as well. If you look at number 2, it says roses bloom outside my window. The very first thing you need to do is you need to cross out the prepositional phrase. So, look at your list. Which word in this sentence is a preposition? Start there, and the phrase will end with a noun. Well, outside is the preposition. So I know I'm going to start here. Now, outside, my is not a person, place, thing, or idea, but window is. So this is the prepositional phrase. I'm going to cross it out. Again, I'm going to make my line a little bit thicker so it's obvious. Okay, so now guys, look at this. Your second step, remember, is to draw the subject predicate line. You only have 2 words left. Who or what is the sentence about? Remember, the subject is who or what is the sentence about. So if the sentence is roses bloom, who or what is the sentence about? What would you say? So let's draw a line after it. Hopefully you said, well, it's about roses. Bam. There's your line. There's your subject predicate line. It's separating the subject from the predicate. Roses bloom. Who or what is the sentence about? It's about roses. What are the roses doing? Well, they're blooming. Roses bloom. Look at number 1. Who or what is the sentence about? It's about the students. What did the students do? They gathered. That's it. This is what you're going to do for the rest of the sentences. Cross out the prepositional phrases and add a subject predicate line.